Classic Plus, the dream of saving World of Warcraft. Maybe it's honestly closer than we think.
Classic Plus will be a new era for WoW.
True.
Guys, for sure.
Let's hope, yeah.
For sure.
You think you do, but you don't.
There's something different about Classic.
There is.
18
True.
years and 9 expansions later, people still want to play the original version of the game. So what
It's
makes
actually-
Classic so special?
Wasn't that a
People
crazy
still want to
fucking
play-
day? This was the day I played Classic WoW for the first time.
Wow. Yeah.
Play the original version of the game.
What a day.
So what
yeah.
makes Classic so special? Why is it that we keep coming back to vanilla?
It's easy, yet it masks itself as hard, and it's rewarding. Because the journey to level 60 is actually quite tedious and quite hard. And and every time you get something, it's rewarding. So you push your brain in this false sense of delusion that the whole game is hard, even though Classic's endgame is an absolute joke, essentially, unless Blizzard made the worst gameplay mechanic possible for a boss that, automatically just kills people or something like that, right? So, with that, you always have this amazing sense of reward. The first time you killed Ragnaros as a melee, and you literally have no idea what happened because you were just behind him and listening to a guy sell back in. It's as impressive as the 20th time you kill Ragnaros and there's not even a single drop for you to get at him. That's why Classic is great.
And what's next?
Sometimes I think about how good Classic WoW was.
What if one day we got Classic Plus?
If there was a Classic Plus, Jeff,
Yeah.
would you guys be okay with tuning of classes like Boomkins, Shadow Priest?
Yes, obviously.
What if they open Grimbert's Hall?
I'm sold. Blizzard, do it.
What if all those big quest chains or quest lines that they never got to finish were made?
Yes, we're getting another iteration of Classic.
What if we got a Karazhan Scarlet Crusade raid?
People genuinely want
Nice.
Classic Plus.
They're planning something else, and it's not Season of Mastery 2.
New zones that have
That's what.
That's what she said, boys.
By the way, that's not me assuming. That's literally what Agram said in an interview with Sarth. I remember that.
different
Okay.
purposes.
They're probably planning Classic Plus.
There is so
I think
much
so.
potential for Classic Plus. New tiers, new raids, emerald.
Because I feel like the reason why is because
Yeah.
I think retail is it's just so played out. There's too
No one wants to deal with retail. No one has the time to learn retail.
much everything in retail. There's too many mounts,
Yep.
too many raids, too
Yep.
many dungeons, too much.
Everyone looks like a Christmas tree. What's the point of having the most special transmog in the world if everyone looks like a damn Christmas tree all the time? And there's 15 different guys who are strangely all similar-ish to you, but not exactly the same, standing near. And they're even different classes, which even more hammers in the fact that you're a failure. Okay?
Gear, too many titles, too many pets, too many systems, everything. It's just there's too much of everything.
Karazhan.
There's so many things you can do with World of Warcraft.
Think about the WoW tokens you can monetize. Yeah.
Best part?
I do think, by the way, if Blizzard thinks that they're going to put a token into Classic Plus, I'd rather them just not do it. Just don't do it.
Well, that's the strongest argumentation I have ever heard in my life. I guess true.
Yeah, just don't do it. Don't bother. It's whatever. They're going to. Yeah, I mean, well, if they do, then that's what I'm saying it, right? Is don't bother. Because the reason why people care about Classic progression is because it can't be bought.
Are you kidding me? What do you mean Classic progression can't be bought? How about those GDKP runs where the pot is literally $1 million gold? What do you mean progression cannot be bought? We already know damn well that progression can be 100% bought. without any problems. And the people who are gonna do it will do it no matter if there's a well token or not. We already know the outcome of this. And I don't even know if that's cope.
That's why it matters. Now, obviously, you can buy gold. Obviously, you can bot. Obviously, you can do things like, have your brother play your account, etc. But all of those things put your account at risk.
Not really.
There is a massive difference between something that is sanctioned by the developer and they say it's okay to buy gold versus, oh, maybe you can get banned for this or not.
Yeah.
Right? This is a...
Okay, I don't think anyone believes that. Blizzard very much well knows that they can solve the botting issue without any problems pretty much in an instant, just by not banning the people who sell gold, but by banning the people who buy gold. Because the second word starts spreading around, Blizzard just banned people who bought gold. Not a single transaction of gold buying would no longer happen. All of those bots with all of those millions earned would have absolutely nothing to do any longer. In an instant. But Blizzard obviously doesn't do that. Because those people maybe will not buy a new World of Warcraft account.
Massive fucking difference, in my opinion. Because most people don't want to risk their account.
Classic Plus would kill it.
Yeah.
If they did it right.
If.
True.
That's a big if.
Do you remember the first time you played WoW?
No.
I do. I remember first loading this game up as a shy 13-year-old and being absolutely blown away by the immersion the game had to offer.
Yeah.
The music, the story, the world.
Bro, yes, dude.
No. Absolutely no.
It's just like what I said. Big,
the art's
hairy
cool,
honor and virtue.
Bro, when I was a kid, I didn't read a single line of text in World of Warcraft when I played it. Actually, I have my first memory from playing World of Warcraft. It was me playing with my friend who got me into World of Warcraft, who showed me what it is, and we were dueling. I don't remember what class I was. Maybe a mage. Maybe a mage, but we were in Durtar, and he was a shaman. And we were like level 5 or 6 or some BS like that. I just damaged him, he just healed himself, and he out-healed my damage, and then he killed me. It was bad. But still was an amazing experience.
Bro, there was no furries and feelings, man. It was honor, virtue, like responsibility, sacrifice, duty. Yeah.
Okay, Chief.
Story.
That's what it used to be, boys.
It felt like the game I'd always wanted to play. Fast forward 17 years and I'm still playing that game. Almost 2 decades after Vanilla's initial release and 4 years after its re-release, the game has a population that is growing.
It's again, I think that there are a lot of people that are MMO players that are sick and tired of seeing cool-looking people in cities because they bought a battle pass. There is a massive contingency of people that want to play.
Who looks at that crap? I'm sorry, does anyone even honestly look at that stuff when they go into a city? When you're playing retail, do you even look at other people? I don't. They're just on the most obnoxiously large mound. I wish they didn't exist. I honestly wish that the city was a barren wasteland where I couldn't see anyone, because, well, I hate what I see. That's what I wish for.
Play in an open environment and a level playing field, where what you have in game is an accumulation of the efforts that you've put into the game, not an accumulation of money or wealth. Now, I do think that this is a very short-sighted perspective, because obviously a person who's 18 and doesn't have a job just has a like if for example, like if you can play a video game 12 hours a day, you can outperform somebody who can only play it 4 hours a day. So like you were never really on an even playing field to begin with, but it's a playing field that's at least weighted. It's not weighted in the favor of the people that have more money in real life. I think that's effectively what it comes down to. Because like everything else in the world,
I think this is a useless point, to be honest, but okay.
is weighted and advantageous for the person who makes a lot of money, for the person who has a lot of resources, who's very well connected. But the person who is, you know, just like a random guy, right? 16 years old. If you're 16 years old, you're a loser. You're 16 years old. You have no value. Nobody gives a fuck about you. So you can play a game and you can feel.
But you're having an absolute blast in life because you have no responsibilities, hot chicks that are legal at your age, and all of the other things. I didn't care about this crap when I was 16. There were better things to do. If I wanted to play World of Warcraft, I did not care about any of that crap. Okay? When you're 16, you don't care if some guy buys power or whatnot. Like, bruh.
Feel like you are worth something. You can feel like you have accomplished something that matters. And that's something that's very special. And like, I had that experience. I know a lot of other people think that I think they had that experience too. And now with games, because all of them have like these different pay to win features, there is no longer that purity. And again, it never truly existed, but at least the illusion of it existed. And now there's not even an illusion.
I think that's useless,
This
okay?
is almost unprecedented. It's often forgotten how culturally significant WoW was at the time.
Remember what I said about finding that Google trend? And like people didn't understand or respect how big WoW really was. People thought what Genshin Impact was as big as WoW. It's like not even like a fraction.
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft?
Huge.
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft.
Okay, you call it just the game.
Didn't you go out and socialize with your friends?
I am socializing, Artard.
This is a good one.
With my dad. At his house, I remember we went out to like get dinner or something like that, and we came back home and we watched this whenever it aired on television.
Was he passed out drunk, though?
A video game having this much mainstream appeal wasn't normal. WoW was different. Classic is a reminder of that. It's not just that Classic is good, it's also that it's not retail. People are tired of the way retail WoW is going.
Blizzard thinks, oh, you know, the majority of players, they just want, you know, the new sparkles, they want the new mounts. I hate this game. This game made you...
The TikTok approach, ain't that sad?
I don't care.
People ask, I don't care. Oh, I'll move this up since it's a lot of streamers.
Why not play it on retail? Would that be fun, Czar?
No.
It just seems like over and over, Classic WoW just keeps getting the attention. It keeps getting the limelight. That's where...
Well, it's also the reason is that a lot of the people that play WoW look like Nixium and they look like me.
True. That's honestly sad. But, you know what? I have to disappoint everyone, but Classic WoW Plus, if it happens, it's gonna be a monumental fucking failure. It's true. We already know that. We already know the outcome. Like the chances that Classic Plus is not gonna be anything but an absolute instantaneous disappointment and return to everything that retail currently is just delusion. Sadly, I love being in that delusion. Don't get me wrong. I wish for it, but again, look at how well Blizzard is handling World of Warcraft currently. Retail, it's a shit show. Okay, there's no nicer way to put that. Okay, I was being generous right there. Then you look at Diablo 4. It's a shit show. I was generous. There's no better, nicer way to put that, honestly. And then you look at World of Warcraft Classic. Well, to be honest, you would think probably, but they're doing good. It's nice. Yes, but you see, the devs haven't changed anything really. The devs have added the most minor possible changes and details that you could have. When Classic came out, they were so afraid of changing anything that the player base does not want because they're clueless what the player base wants, that they were afraid to actually introduce that summoning stones work when the game is released. They didn't. So no one got to play dungeons at the start, except a couple of few who were stupid enough to actually spend 2 hours running to a dungeon. You know? It is what it is. And well, the developers of Classic have not added anything other than that, honestly. What is that? Like the thing that saves your big cooldowns, so you don't have to be AFK on a different character when you get the cooldown, when you get the Onyxia buffs and the Hakar buffs and stuff? That's not really that impressive, I'm not gonna lie. And that's pretty much the only thing that they added. Everything else is just they pushed the last patch of the expansion of the whatever to the start when it got released. That's it. They're not making any other changes because they are absolutely blatantly in fear of doing any changes because they understand that they're gonna fuck it up. That's the reality of this. So Classic Plus, there's like a 1 in 10 chance that it's gonna be nothing but garbage. It's sad to say. I also hope for the best, but man, all the signs, all the stars are currently pointing in one direction, and that is that Classic Plus is gonna be a failure. Because they're gonna release it at some point. And I thought that they're gonna release it sooner, but they didn't. But that's not because they had ideas. For example, HC Warcraft was not Blizzard's original idea. They just essentially copied the format over from a mod. They released that, but other than that, they have nothing. They're just afraid of trying Classic Plus because the moment they try it, they're just gonna revert to retail instantaneously.
That's just how it is. And we go and we see some fucking furry shit. Some dragons talking about how they feel about each other. Nah, man. Nah. I'm not. No. I'm good.
Players
Sad.
want to be.
Cash shops, a fragmented world and story,
Yeah.
loss of class identity, an absurd amount of bloat, and
I remember seeing that video.
Yeah, that was great.
expansions that make all previous content completely worthless,
Oh, there you go.
causing the world to feel infinitely smaller.
You serious?
This is like one of the biggest problems in WoW. Every expansion removed everything that existed before. That is not how you...
Oh, look at that. That's the British
He was
guy.
right. He was absolutely right. So if I...
Dude, this was horrible, their raid wipe. It was the saddest thing I have seen. No one's even talking because they're too stupid to understand that it's a wipe. Amazing.
If I were to rate the expansions, right? Like, this is where... Like, this is BFA, Shadowlands, Dragonflight, Legion, Wrath. I'd say Wrath and Legion probably about equal. TBC is about, like, right here. And
Is it?
That's classic. In terms of game... Mop, who cares? Mop is down here on the bottom. Nobody gives a fuck. It's just like WoD. WoD's down here. It's
yeah, that seems about right. No. If Waterlords of Draenor is down there, then where's Shadowlands? Is it so small? Is it so to the side it's invisible? I mean, fair game though.
Actually, somehow it made the game actually like literally took content out of the game, so it's actually great. Yeah, it's the reverse. It's a negative number. But like I think Classic is like so far and above every other expansion that we've ever had. Straight up. Like, Classic WoW is just so far above that. WoD gameplay is better than Legion of Legendaries? I disagree. Kata's down here. None of these expansions really mattered. They weren't transformative in a big way. They were just more of the same bullshit.
True.
I don't think...
Though I will be playing Cataclysm, probably. Because I haven't played it. I think Cat is going to be a hidden jewel that a lot of people come back to. Because after Wrath of the Lich King, people left. And a lot of people were like me and said, I don't want to fucking Cat. Why would I want to do this? It's like, okay, it doesn't seem, it's a completely... And you don't play it. You just don't end up playing it. But now I want to experience it if I have the chance. So that's kind of cool.
think that I think Mop is in that category. I think Dragonflight's the same way. BFA is the same way. I think Legion is a step above all of those. Wrath is equivalent to Legion because I don't think Wrath was really that great. I don't think Legion was that great. I just think it's great compared to the other ones that are contemporary. TBC was better than any of the other ones.
No, that's
It was better
true.
than Legion or Wrath by a mile.
Admittedly, I like Wrath of the Lich King more than TBC because this TBC I left. Man, having to wait 5 hours if your guild's tank is not online and he's never online because tanks being a tank just sucks in TBC. You know, waiting 5 hours to maybe get a group to clear something for attunement. Yo, I don't want to deal with that. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to deal with that shit.
And Classic was better than TBC by many miles. Wrath made WoW? No. WoW was already before Wrath did something that I think Blizzard made a huge mistake with, is that it attracted an audience of people who don't like playing MMOs. If you look at the graph for
Wrath is the highest peak player count in World of Warcraft when it released. I don't know if Wrath attracted people who don't like MMOs. I have no idea if that's true. Because Wrath of the Lich King seemed like TBC, and TBC seemed like slightly above Classic in some... Well, I shouldn't say above, but it felt like a different type of Classic, you know?
Like World of Warcraft, the game was already going up like this much, a 45-degree angle, in Burning Crusade. That was the beginning of the end, yeah.
MMO in general. The game is basically smaller than it was ever before because all of this is actually completely useless.
At its core, WoW and its expansion system is fundamentally
Look at that staff.
During Legion, they took a risk with artifact power, a never-ending grind, and it was met very, very well by the players. Battle for Azeroth is already in production. It's not until the end of Legion that people start getting annoyed with artifact power. Oh no, our next expansion...
But to be fair, I mean, everybody hated artifact power at the beginning too.
No
Especially
idea.
because there were different breakpoints where artifact power was just super important. I think it was 35 traits, and you had something that gave you just 5% flat damage, and you needed to do Trial of Valor. It was really bad.
Nice.
So yeah, nobody really liked it at the beginning either, but it's the dislike for it just got worse and worse.
Has exactly the same system in place, and there's nothing they can do about it. We've already built it.
It's not even that the game has changed. It's that it's now a different game entirely. The people who enjoy retail are for the most part a completely different type of consumer. But there is clearly still a market for the old WoW.
The reason Classic is so much better is because everything you do in Classic matters, and everything you do in retail feels like it doesn't matter at all. It feels like it's...
Well, he's completely right about this.
Throw the gear.
If I stop playing Classic WoW,
you come back and
even
it's
Wrath,
all fine.
Wrath, not so much the case, but I think Burning Crusade. If I stopped playing Wrath or Burning Crusade in tier 5, I would come back and I would still be in tier 5. And I would need to do tier 5, tier 6, and then do Sunwell. In Classic WoW, if I stopped playing in Molten Core, the next thing that I would have to do would be BWL. And in a year from now, it will also be BWL.
Yep.
It's not like there's going to be a patch that makes it to where you don't have to do BW.
By the way, all he's talking about is just horizontal progression. Horizontal progression is the best type of progression. Retail, I talked about this many times. Currently, retail is just horizontal progression all the way through. If you're a casual player, you feel no progression in that game at all. I tried to play it at Shadowlands. I got my max level. I did some stuff. I wanted to try raiding. Didn't try it. Was playing it a little bit. Exploring the world. Doing very minor things like 1 hour a day, maybe tops. Maybe 3 hours one day, and then a break for a week. And about the time that I got to raiding, I tried to queue up. I didn't get into a group. I didn't also know what the fuck I'm actually supposed to queue up for, honestly. Because there's no way to tell. Are you supposed to queue up for this or that? What's the difference? Is this hard one? Is this the easy one? Is this the first raid? Is this the 5th raid? You have no clue about that. That's one thing, by the way. And the second one is, okay, I failed to get into the raid group. And then a week later, oh, there's gonna be Blizzard announces that there's gonna be the next zone of Shadowlands, and guess what? Catch-up gear. And that catch-up gear takes 5 minutes to get. It's better than all of the raid tiers that I can do now, or equivalent. And again, it's just gettable in 5 minutes. What is the point of even trying to raid if you are doing it in a casual sense? And then Blizzard after a month is gonna just give you catch-up gear that's better than the raid gear. What's the point of that? There's no point in gearing up.
WL or AQ, you can just go directly to Nax. They will still be meaningful and it will still matter. Like, professions matter. All these little things in the game matter.
Also, this is why Guild Wars is getting a lot of new people now, because Guild Wars has horizontal progression all the way through, baby. And it's great. You know, you can take a break for a year, 10 years, or 2 months or 3 days, you come back, and your character is still there. Still everything you did matters.
And it makes it an experience. That sounds terrible. I don't think it does, and I'll explain why. The reason why I don't think it's terrible is because it gives a person a sense of actual meaningful progression. Like retail WoW, the way I feel about it is that you build a castle and then Blizzard destroys it every 3 months.
Yep.
Or every 6 months. They say, okay, you're going to make this great character, and now all the things that you earned are now going to be worthless, and now you have to do it again.
Yep.
And this is what happens over and over and over. So that's, I think, the biggest reason. And in Classic, like if I stop and I'm level 37, I can come back and pick up right where I left off. So in a weird way, Classic WoW has less sense of urgency to play the game immediately, and you can play it at a much more laid-back perspective because you're not on an artificial treadmill to make sure that you complete these different activities before the end of a season. You're just playing the game. Yep. And also, it works in the inverse because you want to complete everything so you're ready for the new raid. Now,
but there's
like,
no
obviously
need.
It might not be, but like I got AQ40 gear because I needed it to do Nax. I got BWL gear because I needed it to do AQ40. If I knew that whenever AQ40 came out, they'd just put all the gear in, let's say, you know, UBRS, and I could just farm it all out through UBRS, there'd be no reason for me to do AQ4 or to do BWL. I just wait until AQ40 came out and then maybe do that, and then do AQ40 a few times. It doesn't matter. But like, because you're going from progression step to progression step, I think that's what really keeps the game. It keeps the game fresh and it keeps it meaningful because like your accomplishment means something in a greater scheme rather than you just achieving an achievement. Didn't you bring up this point with your Ian interview? I think a lot of people have brought it up. I don't remember if I did or not.
Oh, this is a point everyone who even thinks 5 minutes about this can easily bring up. Yeah, this is an as old point as time itself at this point. I know it, you know it, he knows it, everyone knows it. But except the World of Warcraft developers, they have no clue.
How do you fight the problem with how too many steps for people before they can even touch new content? They are touching new content. If you are a new player, Molten Core is new content.
Yep,
think about it.
Admittedly, there is one slight problem. The Lost Ark problem. This is literally the Lost Ark problem. Okay, so you're a new player. Unless there's some kind of way to boost yourself up, you are gonna run into the problem that the content that you are currently doing is done by no one, because there aren't enough new players to actually do the content with. Okay, and that's the same problem that you technically can run into here, but that's because, you know, Molten Core still has best in slot things when even Kel'Thuzad. I'm pretty sure Molten Core has some. Well, yeah, Thunder Fury, I guess, is an obvious one. The Molten Core still has Thunder Fury, which is an obvious best in slot. And, well, people are going to go back there forever. But at some point, people are going to stop going back to these old places. And that's going to be the majority of the player base. So new players are not going to be able to get into Molten Core at some point, because there's not going to be enough people who want to raid Molten Core. This already happened when AQ40 came out. My guild didn't want to do Molten Core anymore. You know? There was maybe an item or two that someone wanted there still, but no one really wanted to do it. So that's one bad thing that can happen. So that is technically why catch-up mechanics are necessary, because if that happens, you're kind of fucked. But, you know, still.
That's how it works, yes.
Gone tomorrow. But in Classic WoW, everything feels good because it's such a goddamn battle to get anywhere.
The recent success of the original game is the clearest message Blizzard could receive.
The fans,
they will
the
ignore
community, we know what we want.
They will ignore it.
Where we want the game to go.
Mm-hmm.
So Era is thriving. People love hardcore.
Yep.
Where does Blizzard go from here? People have been playing vanilla on private servers for over a decade.
Jesus.
So is that it? Or is
Sad.
playing vanilla on private servers for
That's what it's all about, boys. At the end of the day, that's why vanilla WoW is an MMO. Right there. Because it's people getting together out in the open world and doing stuff. That's it.
Good enough.
So is that it? Or is there room for a new direction for Classic? The No Changes movement was great for Classic's initial release.
It was.
Some of us think that there's potential for something greater.
There is.
Something that could remove the need to restart on another server every 1 or 2 years. Something like Classic Plus. Classic Plus is the idea.
I think what they need to do is at BlizzCon, my ideal BlizzCon is that they announce Classic Plus and they say it's not going to be out for a year and a half or 2 years, and we're making new servers for it, and the servers are going to begin their Classic progression next month.
Oh, that would be pretty good.
So if you're going to have the Gates of AQ.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
Every single event possible. Maybe add in a bonus event.
That actually would be pretty good, because a lot of people who I rated Classic. I enjoyed it for a very long time, but at some point I got bored, and this would be good enough for me to actually get back. That's a decent idea. I like it, actually.
And something like that would be fucking insane. Because people would be so hyped up for it, even going, like, it would actually create so much fucking hype for the game, and they wouldn't really have to do anything.
That Blizzard should take the original version of the game and expand on
Ashbringer
it.
completion.
Keep that one world.
Oh, they should do that,
and
yeah.
New content in line with what made vanilla so great. Turn it into a true forever game. This isn't a new concept. Blizzard needs to learn, steal, and listen.
Oh, to be fair, like Lost Ark.
They do
I think
steal.
Lost Ark kind of has the same problem that WoW does.
Yeah.
Like
well,
retail
no,
because like it resets.
No, Lost Ark doesn't have a problem with resetting things. Lost Ark has a problem with being a chore. Well, currently they kind of fixed it, but yeah, no. Lost Ark doesn't have problems with that. The gear reset doesn't honestly matter at all. You know, people are happy to switch up gears in a lot of cases. Even people who just look up guides are still happy to just, you know, switch it up a little bit, right? The gear part doesn't matter. It doesn't. The thing, the Lost Ark has a problem with just being too hard.
It's your progress. Like, for example, whenever I quit the game, I was 1580 item level, okay? Like, and the only people that were 1580 item level were people that played the game with a credit card, okay?
Yeah.
Like me. And so, anyway, because of that...
That's why he liked the game.
I was ahead of everybody. But now I come back, and a lot of people are 1580. Well, like, what the fuck? Like, all the work that I put in, now everybody else... Not work, really. It's really not work. It was money, right? Like, all of the things that I have accomplished in the game...
No, that's bullshit. This is such a lie. This is a blatant lie. He's a millionaire. He doesn't care about this garbage. He can just spend all the money that he wants. The problem is, when he played Lost Ark, because I saw it, like, this guy was struggling fucking Argos. Okay? Argos. Now, Argos is annoying at Gate 3 when, you know, he just randomly decides to only target you and you're kind of pissed because of that. But you can probably close your eyes and still defeat Argos, even on low item level. But he didn't know how to do it. This is not a question of, oh, I can't re-gear. No, this is in reality, it's just Lost Ark's too hot now. And he doesn't want to admit it. If you bought your progress and it's gone, well, shit. Just buy it again. It's not like you cared about the progress in the first place if you actually, you know, used the credit card to gain that progress. Stop lying. The game is just too hard.
They don't matter as much. So, like, having all the power passes and the catch-ups and things like that in Lost Ark, I think was bad. I think the reason why Lost Ark was so great on release, remember that first month of Classic WoW, of Lost Ark?
Yeah, from someone, this is a complete take on Lost Ark. From someone who hasn't played Lost Ark and never played it even, you know, on a decent level or any, again, doesn't know what Argos do, has trouble and gets carried by his viewers. Because you can easily die at Argos and still carry, no problem.
Dark. Why it was so incredible is that...
Well, admittedly, with that item level, Argos is not really doing damage to you. I don't think... did he even attempt Valten? Did he even attempt Valten, the second easiest raid in the Lost Ark?
Didn't have a lot of that. Like, the content was just, like, put in front of you, and it was like, you can be in tier 1, 2, or 3, and you just have to work through the content. It was like playing Classic WoW again. In, like, a weird way.
No, it wasn't. The Lost Ark needs catch-up mechanics, and this is why again. Because this is not horizontal content. This is still climbing up the ladder in content. Even if it's not far apart, you're still gonna get to the point where you are as a new player is far too down for everyone else to even notice you or interact with you. And that's a problem. Lost Ark does need these bosses and things like that. Yeah, sure, everyone has six characters and they need to start from scratch, but... well, you know how it is.
And I love that. And now that they have, like, all these catch-up mechanics and everything, it feels like there's no... like, somebody should want to do Vaulton. Not like some Inferno insane, you know, ultimate Omega Vaulton or whatever. No, just like original Vaulton.
See? See? That's just not wanting hard things.
Learn to do that. Because Vaulton, for me, think about it like this, right? Vaulton, in my opinion, I played
so
many
he
ARPGs.
did Vaulton.
From an isometric ARPG perspective, Vaulton Gate 2 is the best boss encounter I have ever played against, and I don't think that there is anything that is even remotely close.
Because it's super easy. Because it's super easy. Yep. See, this is just a talk about difficulty, not actually anything else. Because it's super easy.
Searing Exarch is a distant second. It was incredible. It was so well designed. It was so well tuned. It was just fucking amazing.
Yeah, you see what I mean? PoE is not even
15,
hard.
40 characters? Yeah, well, there you go. But, like, what I'm saying is that whenever I did Vaulton for the first time and I enjoyed it that much, for me, that was new content. Even though Vaulton had came out years ago. Whenever I did Coils of Bahamut that came out in 2014 or 15, in 2021... that was brand new content for me. And it was fucking amazing. So I just think that, like, they need to have a completely different perspective on, like, kind of how they look at the game's progression.
Imagine a game with an open line of communication between the players and the devs, where new potential content is voted for.
Yeah.
A game that places an emphasis on the world and not the players.
Well, it's not like Runescape is not seeing their fair share of problems even when the content is voted for.
Yep.
Where you get rewarded for the way you want to play. That has an ever-expanding world where nothing gets left behind.
That's right.
Whether you believe it or not, it's already happening.
Senior Game Designer, WoW Classic. Design and implement features and content into the classic WoW experience.
That's the Classic Plus, boys. A little sprinkle on the top.
Classic era servers may include new content that differs from the experience of the original WoW.
Classic logo, right there.
Classic's full potential is Classic Plus.
That is what Vanilla Plus really means, is it not? Unlimited potential.
The fact of the matter is, the audience is already here. Remember what happened last time there was a private server this successful?
Recently invited the core development team, Starius, to
Oh yeah, they just deleted them.
its campus in Irvine, California.
Blizzard have an...
It was actually so crazy that all that happened. Wouldn't you be disappointed with absolutely no changes during a fresh progression period of WoW Classic? No, I would be fine with it.
Yeah, because you have a reason to do it. It's not new content, but it's still the rewarding content that you already have done. And again, there's the big part about Classic being rewarding, so it's not a problem.
Opportunity to undo years of missteps, to unveil a new timeline. Classic Plus will be a love letter to its players. A shift is happening in the gaming community, and in November, when we have our first BlizzCon in years, you'll see it too. Classic Plus will be a new era for WoW.
I certainly hope so.
Aw, shit.
That ending. Well, anyway, that's pretty nice. Classic Plus would be great. I honestly want it even if it's a failure. Even if Blizzard completely drops the ball. Well, honestly, I don't think they're going to completely drop the ball. It's going to be, like, playable, but it's not going to be what we want. I would much rather they at least attempt it than, you know, it just stays there on the shelf and no one ever touches it in their lives. I would much rather have it at least attempted. Anyway, this was Clizzard Sensei. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already and have a nice day. Bye-bye.